Cerule is now offering a BOGO sale on their premier item only, Stem Enhance Ultra, probably the most effective human body repair supplement ever discovered. Why? Because in 1 hour it can increase your blood levels of adult stem cells by nearly 50%. There is no other supplement that has ever made this claim. See the link below for more info. Good afternoon. I'm still reporting on the coup's most effective stealth superweapon, censorship. First, I want to say a word about today's Bible verse because finally understanding this verse removed the last impediment for me to having no doubt that Christianity was the only way. I remember distinctly as a teenager posing this question to my Christian friends about this verse, Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. If God is love, then why this verse? Why should we fear a loving Father God? To me, this didn't make any sense at all. But then one day it dawned on me the English translation is easy to misunderstand. We should not fear God the Father, but we should fear the results of not following His will for our lives. No, God doesn't just get mad one day and flip a switch to start bad things happening to our lives. But Satan will be more than happy to welcome you to this road to hell for your disobedience. So, we should not so much fear the wrath of God, but fear the results of the lack of God. Now on to some very serious business. Not so many years ago, the word censorship was something rarely associated with the United States. It was on the same level of the word treason. So it took Americans several years to actually understand that censorship was going on right here, right now, in the land of the free, the home of the First Amendment. What's censorship? It's the ability to prevent you from saying what you want to say without fear of repercussions. So the far left has been able to sneak an ever more pervasive version of censorship into our everyday lives, pretty much under the radar of the average American, and certainly mostly unnoticed by an ever complicit media. But it's not just here. It is growing by leaps and bounds in Europe and the rest of the world as well. Recently, even the U.S. Supreme Court dealt the First Amendment a cruel blow, which has pretty much gone unnoticed among the other positive decisions announced over the last 2 weeks. According to a new report in the Foundation for Freedom Online, the court made a startling ruling against free speech when they ruled that individuals were not harmed by the White House demanding the big social media companies to suppress ideas which displeased the Biden regime. More censorship is coming, not less. According to the Foundation for Freedom Online, the European Union has just passed something called the Digital Services Act, creating a unified framework for government-directed content moderation across the European Union. Uh-oh, what's that? Each country now will appoint a digital services coordinator with the power to fine an online platform if they do not censor speech that some central authority within the EU considers to be a systemic risk. For example, posting medical studies that show that COVID injections are too risky, that would be a prime example of a systemic risk. But it gets worse. According to the report, this EU overseer of digital services coordination can further spread out the blame for the destruction of free speech by appointing third-party trusted flaggers to be the first line of attack in identifying ideas and their authors to be censored out of digital existence. Snopes, get in line. Oh, in case you're thinking that it's too terrible to believe that this can actually really happen, wake up! It already has happened. This act or law went into effect at the beginning of this year, 2024, in Europe. they have already implemented the new censorship system. And the devilish part is they can not only have my content taken down, but they can impose fines on the online platforms that posted my content for noncompliance of up to 6% of their income. Think about how much money that would be and how few people would be making these transnational billion-dollar decisions. Payoffs, anyone? According to the report of the Foundation for Freedom Online, in other words, the EU wants platforms to identify and suppress content proactively, something that realistically can only be accomplished at scale using AI censorship tools. There are even subcategories of speech to be monitored and denied, such as public security and electoral processes, gender-based violence, discrimination, and hate speech. Hate speech already has been used as a pretext to criminally penalize political candidates and members of the public for political expression in a number of European countries. Someone, somehow, has got to figure out how to effectively push back on this now existing law because it will soon spill over into the U.S. and thereby seal humanity's doom under a thick blanket of everlasting New World Order totalitarianism. I'm still reporting since 1973 from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day.